guys, it's Justin and Joe with VMP Tuning Tuesday episode 52. We're doing our sharing right now. We're trying to minimize the amount of time you guys are waiting for us after the pre-roll starts.
So we got to make like small talk, like before the because the long pre-roll we just decided to do away with that.
Yeah.
52, Joe.
52.
52 weeks with this great idea that I think was started by Jimmy.
Jimmy? Yeah, I think it was Jimmy.
Yeah.
Jimmy or Carrie or one of those kids wanted us to show our faces.
Live and in color.
And for those that are wondering what this is, should we wait?
We'll wait. Let's get them. Let's get them warmed up. Let's get some viewers. Since we'll
take guesses on what this is.
Yeah.
While we're waiting.
Guesses. And we were talking about doing a contest. Did you guys figure out anything for a contest? Since it is the 52 month.
Whatever you want to do.
52 week.
We could correctly guess what that is.
Perfect.
Or I was going to say the 50-second commenter, the 50-second comment on like either Facebook or YouTube.
Oh, yeah. Okay. How about we do both?
Yeah, we could do both.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
So, taking guesses on this.
Someone says peg leg and then smoking lamp.
I see what you did there.
By the way, while we're making small talk, Popeye's down the street is now open.
They are.
So
Mike went, I think, like the first week they were open, and he said he was waiting in line for like 20 minutes.
They actually brought our food to our table today.
Someone says elephant trunk.
Elephant trunk. Come on, let's get some more serious responses. Maybe some Cobros will
squishy.
We'll chime in, and then we can take the great divider between me and Joe down once we get the answer as to what it is, and we'll like send you like a T-shirt or maybe a USB drive or something.
The things.
Send you some swag. We'll just call it swag. It encompasses license plates, stickers, whatever else we got around.
Are we sticking with the metal version of this, or are we going to go to the plastic version? While we're sitting here.
Yeah, I think, good point. So I think all the new ones are plastic.
Okay.
This is just something a little bit, this part right here is a little bit older we had sitting on the shelf. So I just, mated this right up to it when these came in. And we've been made these for a while, but this is kind of the final revision. It's actually V2 is in the part number for it.
Someone says DD intake tube from Power by the Hour. Another person said Cobra Jet cold air intake.
So I was talking with somebody that does a lot of porting today.
Someone says a GT500 PMAS cold air. Sorry.
And he was saying that there's really no good cold air for the Cobra Jet intake on S550.
Doesn't on S550? Because I was going to say, doesn't PMAS make the cold air that everyone kind of like, they have mixed feelings on it?
Yeah, performs really good, but looks kind of funky.
Yeah,
and
function over form.
Yeah, all the Cobra Jet cold airs, I guess, are designed for S197s.
Okay.
So the S550 engine bay is a lot narrower up by the headlights, so the cold air box actually gets shifted over, a good 6 inches or so?
I'd say at least 4, I don't know.
At least 4, yeah.
Yeah. Something to think about, I guess.
How many viewers we got on the show?
You have about 33 right now on YouTube, and I'm in the process of sharing on Facebook.
Okay, cool.
You have 20 on Facebook.
20 on Facebook, so we're warming up here pretty good. How's everybody like this like shorter pre-roll, getting to talking to us quicker type of thing? So let us know somewhere too in the comments while you're speculating as to what this is.
Harnesses and stuff.
Oh yeah, I brought some goodies to go with it.
Yeah.
Oh, this is kind of a hint in and of itself.
For those that know.
Yeah, adapter harness to go to the slot style math. So this is for an 04 and older car because we're using an adapter harness. And then we're using an 05 up slot style voltage based mass air sensor. Plugs right in here. And ta-da! Modern.
Wait. I gotta check this real quick.
What happened?
All right, we're good.
We're good. Oh, you were making sure the mass air was going the right direction.
Yep.
Critically important. Sorry, I got a cold. This mass air, these little sensors right here always have to be in the leading edge of the airstream. Dude, somebody sent me a picture yesterday. The MAF was sideways in the airstream. Like, the air was hitting
So you got a decent IET signal, but
broadside.
signal is garbage.
Yeah.
How does that happen?
I don't know,
Like,
man.
did they not use one of our flanges or something? Because our flanges are made to profile onto a tube and square itself up.
Yeah, and we actually put arrows on our flanges because of people like, oh shit, I welded it on backwards.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but sensor leading edge, and it's got to happen that way.
Joey Chambers says an 0304 Cobra cold air.
A zing.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, for real. Do you know what that's
Awesome.
from?
No.
PlayerUnknown Battleground.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner?
Yeah,
So
winner chicken.
this is the new 5-inch cold air for the 0304 Cobra with the VMP, with the big VMP throttle body. And basically, this is 120 millimeter PMAS mass air slot style, because these slot style sensors give the cleanest readings in really big housings. And PMAS also does some stuff. They've got a bell mouth inside here. Makes for a very clean air signal. Bolt-on filter for consistency, not slip-on and clamp-on, but bolt-on.
And actually, Lou said it first on YouTube, so.
We'll give them both something. Both.
I was gonna say, not to throw you off track or anything, but why did we make this? I feel like people are gonna ask the why.
So there's some like technical reasons, performance reasons, and there's some market perception reasons. You want to talk about technical?
So, technical standpoint, the reason we made this specific cold air or put together this specific cold air kit for 0304 Cobras is because with our Gen 3, we wanted to make sure that they had enough mass airflow sensor signal range with our blower for, I'd say, reasonable power levels.
Yeah. With a commonly available mass air sensor.
Exactly. This mass air sensor is made by PMAS, but it uses the stock mass air transfer function for a 05 to 10 GT. So you can actually use a PMAS 120 transfer function for a 05 to 10 GT.
Yeah, it's just, and this, this one's made by PMAS, but you can grab one from a stock 05 to 10 from your Ford dealer, from the junkyard, for wherever.
Yeah.
We just happen to buy all of our sensors from PMAS, and they calibrate this to stock calibration. So it's a very industry standard type thing.
And what this does is it helps give your tuner a more consistent or reliable basis with which to tune the car. Because this mass air transfer function is publicly available, it is very consistent, and with the Cobra stuff and E52 stuff in specific, we have to do something called scaling or BP mod or whatever you want to call it to get the calibration to support the airflow and the fuel flow that's required at higher levels or higher power levels over, I think it's 63.99 pounds a minute on that ECU.
63.9, yeah.
So what this does is just give us a really consistent basis with which to tune these cars, and for anyone you're having tune it. And then it also allows us to support the airflow and air filter flow requirements that are necessary at the power levels we expect these cars to be run at.
And it's a big mofo. It takes up a lot of the engine bay, but that's what people want these days. They want to see the biggest, the baddest, because the throttle body is actually 5-inch. And for years, we've been necking it down to 4.5 and using like a ram air setup that's meant for a stock blower and a stock mass air, and it was just tiny.
And at the smaller power levels, it worked. I
Yeah.
had that same setup on my 03 Cobra when I was on our Gen 2 TVS.
Gen 2 600 rear wheel.
Yeah.
But
Wiley
now,
Coyote says the Cobras will be stoked.
stoked good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're making stuff easy to tune. Silicone, it's a love-hate thing, but here's what I love about it. When it touches the strut tower, it's not going to rattle because it's silicone.
Yep.
So when it touches your valve cover, it's not going to rattle because it's silicone.
And we almost need something like that for 5-liter stuff, because like, what happens when when a metal or hard tube touches
Fall stock.
the valve cover, or it touches the
Yeah.
hood and somehow transfers that sound into the tube, and then
Yeah.
it picks up knock.
Yeah, and I mean so with our cold air being 5-inch, the mass air being 5-inch, we're able to keep this thing 5 inches all the way through, and it's just massive.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
We have a few questions. If you guys are ready for them, or
Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
say so.
Let's talk questions.
do we want to talk about any of the Black Friday stuff first?
Oh yeah. Black Friday is on, and we are selling a lot of stuff. You guys and girls are buying a lot of stuff.
If you need tips on what to buy,
yeah,
let us know.
Yeah, tell us your power goals and your ET goals, power goals, what you're trying to do. We'll recommend the best parts.
Part is, if you're going to ask for dyno numbers, auto or manual.
We have all the information. That's what this show is about.
Yeah.
All the info.
People are commenting on the shorter pre-roll. They're stating that they really like it.
Nice.
They
Awesome.
think it's great. They think it looks great.
Nice. I haven't even seen the pre-roll yet. I'll have to look at it after the show.
Oh yeah, we'll share it with you.
Really, it's just not that important, Joe. It's important that you and I get on camera together.
Oh, giggity.
Yeah.
We'll make it really comfortable for everyone.
So first question is, hey guys, just got my VMP tune for my Cobra Jet manifold yesterday. Super stoked about it. Anyway, I have a Ford Ranger with a 4.0 and a blower. Would you guys ever consider tuning it if I sent logs? Also, what's your professional opinion on rear gears with a 6R80 on a Cobra Jet setup? Rear gears for quarter mile, that is.
6R80 rear gears, quarter mile Cobra Jet.
I'd say no more than 373, unless it, I don't know.
Like you can do 355 with a blower from a mild to a wild blower combo, but we'd rather see 308, so we just kind of take that back a notch or two for NA.
Yeah, and could you do 410s or 456s? Yes, but I don't know if there's much gain. It seems that 10R80 seems to respond well to gearing, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't really seen like an A to B to C to D on just changing gear ratio on the same setup on those cars.
I mean, I would say we're probably talking about, you know, when you start to get up there like past 355, 373, I'm thinking you're talking like half a tenth.
I think what you'd benefit more from is a converter.
Well,
an
and that's
auto car.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say next. Like converter and gear, now you're talking about a potent combination on a naturally aspirated setup. You can get your 60 foots down in the 160s, get into that power band quick on the Cobra Jet.
Derek just came in and he chimed in again at 10R80 now.
10R80 and naturally aspirated seems to respond well to 410.
Just let that thing,
Just let it sing up there at 7,200 RPM the whole time.
yeah, mechanical advantage for the win. Bam, boom, boom, boom.
And what was this question about the other stuff? He had a gearing question, but then he had like 2 questions before that.
Oh, tuning a 4-liter Ranger with a blower.
Okay.
You know, we really like tuning a lot of different combos, but something like that, there's so many things that can go awry on an older non-wideband vehicle that we've kind of made a commitment to only tune that stuff in person, just due to the inherent variability of it. We don't feel like we can always guarantee a fast enough turnaround time and issue resolution on mail order tunes with something like that. So
Yeah, that, and it just seems that the people that are doing stuff with that, no offense, don't seem as educated, or not even educated with what they need to do to get the setup to function properly. But like even that 03 Cobra I did yesterday, the vacuum harness wasn't hooked up right. And that's one of those things that doing email data logging on a PD blower, if the vacuum harness isn't set up right, and let's say your fuel or pressure sensor is only vacuum referenced and not vacuum boost reference, that even
20% lean.
Yeah, minimum.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't see that idle part throttle logs, you only see that after you get the watt log.
Yeah.
Because that's the only one where it being boost reference really matters.
Matters.
And where I was going with that is that it seems that the guys that want to do that type of stuff they're usually working on a budget, and this is like their first or second time doing something like that, to where they don't really know the ins and outs of.
More of a one-off combo.
Yeah, and it's little oddities and stuff that can kind of give hiccups. So like Justin was saying, if we're going to do something like that, we'd rather do it in person on the dyno with our hands on it directly.
He said about the 4.0 Ranger and the blower, I did install a wideband and an air fuel.
Sweet. Yeah, we'd still want it on our dyno in person.
One more thing on the Black Friday stuff before we go into more questions. So we are giving away a free supercharger and a free supercharger head unit and a free supercharger kit. So one lucky person that purchases a head unit upgrade and one lucky person that purchases a kit will be entered into a drawing, and we will refund you the cost of your purchase.
Is that timeline? What's the timeline on that? I assume there's a purchase date, end date type thing.
Yeah,
So-
Carrie, you want to talk about it more?
So yeah, so you need to purchase it through our Black Friday sale, and then we will do the drawing actually on January 8th for the free on Tuning Tuesday. So you need to tune in January 8th on Tuning Tuesday to see who will actually win the refund of your purchase price. Is basically how it will work. So that's January 8th. 2019, right after the holidays, but you have to purchase it during the Black Friday sale.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got to buy, like Carrie said, got to buy during Black Friday, and got to purchase it through VMP. However, I will tell you, our friends at Lethal are doing the same promotion. So, like, show them some love too, because you know the odds increase.
The odds will be ever in your favor.
Between the two companies, the odds are pretty good for a couple people to win blowers and blower kits and head units.
Right. So purchase either a kit or a head unit through VMP, and we will enter your name into a drawing, which will be done January 8th on Tuning Tuesday, and you could be refunded your purchase price. So not only are you getting a great deal, because this is our lowest pricing that we've offered on supercharger kits as well as head units. So not only are you getting a great deal, but you could potentially end up with it for free.
And I'm going to throw a little something out there. Everybody knows that costs go up. There's all these there's all these tariffs on steel and aluminum and materials and stuff like that. So I know a lot of manufacturers are bringing cost increases on us for a lot of products, and that, you know, there's some things that we may have to have cost increases on too. So this could be your last chance to buy, you know, VMP supercharger at
So Lethal
pricing.
Performance actually just chimed in with lots of love. So they're giving you hearts.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, check
so-
out our friends at Lethal Performance. They've got a lot of sales on VMP products, and they're great to work with too.
Frank from ProFab says, "Hey Justin."
Hey Frank. Hey man, thanks for watching.
With that said, we have some more questions. If you guys are ready for
Yeah,
them.
let's do those questions, because
I'm ready.
with this sore throat, my voice is not going to last forever.
Oh man, I'm gonna take over for you.
Thoughts on commanding higher timing and then using the cylinder pressure limit table to cap those values to end up with what you really want? Question mark.
I prefer that you command the right amount of timing, and you know how to manipulate the tables to where you don't have to command 26 to achieve 17 or something to that effect.
Didn't we all know this was going to be the answer from Joe? I mean, but
I prefer to do it the right way.
you want to understand how it works. I was actually telling somebody that yesterday, that, you know, Joe's very technical by the book. Let's do it this way. And, you know, sometimes it takes a little longer to do that, but the end result is worth it.
Yeah, it helps to understand why timing is not being called out as what you're commanding it to be,
Yeah, because that's a really good thing to know.
because it usually points you in the direction of other things.
Yeah.
A subtle hint, VCT.
Yeah.
Which cam table is it in?
If you're not logging VCT on a Coyote all the time, you need to be.
Yeah, especially 11 to 14 cars. Those seem to be a little bit more problematic in that region.
And, you know,
Being
I
that
there were certain tuners that were not putting cam timing in their config files at some point, because I think they didn't want people to know, but yeah, whatever. You need to know cam timing.
Yeah.
Robert says, "Hey guys, great shows. What's the power difference in a set of headers versus off-road pipe on a 11 to 12 GT500?"
The headers are worth more in my experience.
Yeah, I'd say if you're over, we'll call it 650 wheel, there's a very large margin benefit towards the header over just an off-road mid-pipe setup, like specifically in reference to Cletus's setup, which sadly may it forever rest in peace, the stock engine. I don't know if you guys saw that, but check out Cletus's channel. He
Dude,
ate the engine in the GT500 on startup.
do stupid stuff, win stupid prizes, but that's
Yeah.
what it's all about, finding the limits. So
Yeah, and based on what I see, I think Hydrolock.
yeah, I think the nitrous, you know, that little touch of nitrous on the last pull just kind of pushed things over the edge, and probably would have lived fine without the nitrous. But hey, that's, you know, You got to know.
But where I was going with that, on a setup like Cletus's where you're making 800, 850 and you're still on stock manifolds, there's definitely a pretty good gain going to a long tube header on a setup like that.
And you know, the way I
You get
kind of...
boost drop too.
Yeah, you get about a pound boost loss. The way I explain to a lot of people is that stock supercharger, you're only running like 12, 13 pounds, even if you have a smaller pulley. Not a huge gain from long tube headers. But as soon as you upgrade the supercharger, start running 16, 18, 20 pounds, now that engine needs that airflow of a long tube header so much more. And you see big 30, 40 wheel gains. You know, maybe 20, 30 over an off-road pipe.
Derek says, happy early Thanksgiving, guys. Don't know of any other tuners that give as much free info on a weekly basis as you do. Thank you.
We try.
Hey, you know what? You know, knowledge is power, and we have the knowledge and the skill and the customer service and everything to get your car running really, really well. So that is where the magic is. We make everything come together. Anybody can put, you know, tune parameters in a tune. They can copy somebody else's cam timing that they data logged, but we understand the big picture and we know how to make it work for you. So that's why you should use us for tuning. Shameless plug.
Garrett Wayne is chiming in. What's up, guys?
What's up, man?
Hey.
And Justin Young says, hey, guys, thanks for coming to Mod Nationals. VMP for the win.
Mod Nationals was freaking awesome. Like, we're still like digesting all of that. So yeah.
Look for some videos coming out soon on the Mod National stuff if you guys didn't see anything about that yet.
John Alvarez wants to know if you're still his amour.
Mi amor. That's Seabass.
Oh, John Alvarez. Yeah.
Kelsey says, kind of off topic, but Joe likes truck things. So do y'all have any recommendations on a 2.4 lowering kit for 17 F-150 crew cab, 6.5 foot bed? Drive shaft issues are his main concern.
So the drive shaft issue, like you're not wanting to go lower than a 2.4 because of drive shaft concern issues, or is that like a secondary concern of him not wanting to be that high and wanting to lower it to try and solve that?
And what did you find out the drive shaft issues were?
I don't really have any. I messaged our guys at TRZ, Todd, and he said that the drive shaft angle that I have looks optimal for the setup. I think I'm running 5.5, depending on how you're measuring it, whether it's off the trans or off the flange, and then drive shaft angle versus pinion angle, I'm like 5.5 degrees. Transmission versus axle, I'm like 7 degrees. But that's on a leaf spring setup with Caltrax. On another topic, the 2 and 4, you could probably do that with a lowering shackle and a front lowering strut, like the Beltec kit. I know that Crown and a couple other guys are coming out with kits similar to that or already have them out, but Crown DJM. I only really have experience with the lowering kit that's on my truck. I have the 1000 SP on my truck, and that's anywhere from like 2-inch to 3.5-inch lowering kit in the front and a 5.5-inch lowering kit in the rear. But I know they also make a kit that's supposed to be 4 inches in the rear. That's not a flip kit, and it's just a lowering shackle.
He said that he heard that the drive shaft bottoms out on the yoke.
I have not had any issues with that. Although I have a 17 with a single-piece drive shaft.
Oh, yeah.
The multi-piece or the 2-piece drive shaft trucks, you're supposed to move your, whatchamacallit?
Move your center carrier.
Yeah, you're supposed to move the center support bearing up.
And that's just, it's the mount slotted, so you just loosen the bolts and just kind of, and while you got your rear end apart, well, I guess you'd have to have your front of your leaf springs connected, but your rear shackle's disconnected. You can go through the swing of the rear suspension, kind of, and make sure you have the play you need.
You could load up the bed with stuff.
He says he's looking at the 1001 HK Beltec with sway bars, etc.
Yeah, I haven't seen too much on the newer setup that they came out with, but I'd imagine that if Beltec put it together, that it should be something that works good on the truck.
Douglas says, I have a 14 GT500. Are y'all still buying superchargers? If so, how much for my factory 2.3 liter?
we take those as trades.
Yeah, that'd be a Gen 3 trade-in. And then I think we're doing 750 on those in good condition, or is that for our blower for 750? Trinity's a little bit less.
Trinity counts as a Gen 1 because it's got a bolt-on elbow.
Okay.
So it's, yeah, so 750 trade-in, you know, assuming that it still works and there's nothing broken on it. I'll give everybody this warning: when you send a trade-in in, send it in the same box that your VMP blower came in, because that box is designed to protect the supercharger, any supercharger in transit.
And I assure you, if someone can find a way to mess it up in shipping, they will.
Yeah.
If you don't have it in that box.
After having, you know, shipped thousands of blowers, it's very, very important.
Ryan says, my brother has the SCT X4 from his 12 Ecoboost F-150. It has a couple MPT custom tunes on it. Can I use it on my 11 Mustang GT? I'd like to order a custom tune from us.
You can. You just have to delete all the files off of it, and you have to make sure that your brother has unmarried it or divorced it from his old truck. As long as he's done that, it's fairly simple. We just need the SCT device serial number, and we can tune it. If he hasn't divorced it or unmarried it from his old truck, and let's say for whatever reason he sold it, if he sold it and he didn't divorce the device, then you have to send that device to SCT to get it unlocked. It's $150. They're located in Sanford. Their address and RMA info, all that stuff's on their site.
Yeah, and then at, you know, that point, there's a small chance that it's just, you know, extra $50, $100 just to buy a new device with the tune and everything on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean wants to know pricing, Black Friday pricing on a Gen 3 installed with upgraded oil pump gears, fuel systems, clutch, etc. So probably best to call sales.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. I think we can answer that a little bit, and then you can call sales for the final pricing. Basically, you know, Black Friday, we can do discounts on the parts that are on sale, and then the labor is kind of the standard labor rates and everything. But you end up saving a lot of money, and if you pay for it and get it scheduled during Black Friday, then you save the money on the supercharger kits, take advantage of that sale and everything. And that's, yeah, that's a really good idea. So
I think getting a blower kit on sale would almost pay for labor.
yeah, yeah.
Almost.
Or pay for the oil pump gear install and some stuff like that. So yeah.
Eli says, I'm ordering my PTC converter this week. I need to pick up rear end gears. Car will be a turbo car, around 800 to the wheel. He's only going to run quarter mile. It has a built RPM TH400, 13 GT rev to about 7,700. I'm not seeing a question. I'm just seeing that he's making a comment.
Cool.
That sounds cool. And hey, we have a Pro Torque that can be freshened up and restalled to anything you want. If you're by any chance haven't purchased your PTC yet, we'll make somebody a killer deal on the Pro Torque Turbo 400 converter. Rebecca's got that out of one of her cars that she's not going to need next season.
And Corey wants to know advice for which platform for self-tuning his new to him 12 Mustang GT manual trans, SCT or HP. Not completely new to tuning, as I have tuned older EEC turbo Fox body with good success.
Going from EEC4 to Copperhead's going to be fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
In a situation like that, if you don't plan on tuning anyone else's car or just your car, I would say that HP is probably your better bargain, because you don't have to buy an SCT device and the SCT Pro Racer package software to tune the car. So getting into it is going to be a lot cheaper. HP tuners just came out with the MPV i2. You can also get the MPV i2 Pro kit. But the data logging that you're able to do with HP, if you've never tuned a Coyote before, is going to be beneficial because it's easier to read. If you know what stuff to look for, HP can be easier to read. And if you know what needs to be data logged, HP can be easier to read. If you're completely in the dark, definitely do a lot of reading on what these things like, what they don't like, what you need to log, what you don't need to worry about data logging. But I would say that HP is probably going to be your best dollar per yield invested.
And we sell all the HP and VPI2 devices, the Engage, everything. We sell credits, all that good stuff.
That's a good point. If you ever get your tune to a point where you're happy with it and you have like let's say you have a nitrous tune and an all motor tune, or a E85 tune and a and then like a pump gas tune. If you didn't want to have to carry your laptop everywhere, you can also pick up an N-Gage for your HP stuff, and then you can have a device that you can change files on, read codes, all that stuff without having to have your computer with you.
You know, that being said, we sell the software, we sell the HP tuner stuff, we sell blank N-Gages, but we don't really provide tuning support for do-it-yourselfers because of the liability we experience when trying to tell somebody else how to tune a car on their own.
Yep.
Oh, Eli, who is talking about building the turbo car, he needs to pick a rear end gear, so he will need some assistance on rear end gear recommendations.
A turbo car needs a little bit of help getting out of the hole, especially with a TH400, but if you're on a doesn't need too much help, especially with the converter you're talking about, my personal opinion would be 331, 355, somewhere in that range.
Yeah.
You could probably do even taller if the converter is big enough.
It really depends on, so a turbo Coyote at 800 rear wheel, I mean, we're making 1,000 plus with blowers pretty easily now. I don't believe you that you're going to only keep it at 800 wheel, basically. And the gear ratio, you know, in that ballpark, but it really depends on the gear ratios in your Turbo 400 too. Better thing to do is like starting line ratio. If you want to make a slow car go fast, have like an 8-9 starting line ratio. If you've got a fast car and you need it to hook, like in a no prep situation, then starting line ratio like in the 7s, I'd say, is good for that 800,000 wheel area, assuming you're like 3,500 pounds or something in that range.
Brandon says, happy Thanksgiving. He wants a career in the tuning field with VMP, wants to know if he can come in and be a janitor for a bit.
We don't have a janitor.
Yeah,
We have a maid, but we don't have a janitor.
We don't have a janitor. Send in your resume.
Ryan says, can I use a SCT X4 from an Ecoboost 150 that was returned to stock before it was removed from the truck on my 11 Mustang?
Yes.
Very similar to what he
Yes.
asked earlier.
Yes, you can.
Speaking of Black Friday, I just got off the phone ordering my blower. Thanks, Keelan, for convincing me to go with what blower instead of closing costs on a house.
I don't know. You can. What's the saying?
Which thing?
You can race a car, but you can't race a house.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
You could sleep in a house, but you can't. Well, you can sleep in a car.
You can.
You can still sit in the car.
I've done it before, usually on accident. Usually.
Oh no, poor boy says, happy holidays, happy Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, I'm not going to enjoy our Black Friday sale because he had to buy appliances. Happy wife, happy life.
Oh man.
He says, I will get my Gen 2 eventually.
Next year, man, next year.
Gen 2 Rs are on a deep
Christmas
discount.
is coming, Christmas presents. Maybe
You gotta
need to
sell
tell
those
the
old
wife.
appliances, recoup some of your cash, pick up a Gen 2.
Tell the wife that's what you want for Christmas. Mitchell says, I would love a Gen 3 for my F-150. Been wanting to get one, just haven't had the funds. Again, talking about the sales. Peyton says, got a killer deal on a Gen 2 Coyote F-150 for swap. Do you think the power will be with GT cams and 18 intake manifold? What do you think the power will be?
15, 20 less than a Mustang Coyote.
Yeah, compression ratio and stuff like that. Drops the power down a little bit, but I mean, the 15 to 17 F-150 engine is so much better than 11 to 14.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what you did for the trade, but it sounds like it was probably a decent trade.
Some guy came on and said, you guys live at Popeyes. Thanks for the tune yesterday, Joe.
No problem. Is that Cameron?
It says 87 GT 306. That's
Okay.
all I know.
I'm not sure.
Dan Clemens says, will the BAP support E85 on the Gen 3?
No.
I assume he's talking 5 liter.
Yeah.
I don't think it'd do it even on a 92 millimeter pulley.
Yeah, we just see so much variability in stock 5-liter fuel pumps that E85 and a booster, we don't really want to push that.
No.
Too much shit goes lean above 7,000 RPM, basically.
What's your fuel pressure like at 7K at what?
30.
About 32 and falling, Jimmy.
Yeah.
The guy that you asked who it was about the Popeyes question, yes, it's him.
Oh,
He
nice.
came back and said yes.
Nice.
Justin says, I have an 1850 GT. Would a Cobra Jet manifold swap be worth it?
There's a lot of people doing it that want to go as fast as possible with the 18s.
Yeah, and I'd say if you had a full bolt-on FBO 18, aka like a converter, a tire, gears, and you were just looking for like that next step because it already has the 18 manifold that all the other guys want. The only real, to me, logical next step is the CJ manifold if you're not wanting to put cams in it or anything like that.
Yeah.
In terms of gains, I don't really know yet. I haven't gotten my hands on one to play with it.
Yeah.
That'll be coming in the next couple weeks.
Coming in the next couple of weeks because we'll be testing stuff up.
You know, stuff and things.
Stuff and things, yeah.
That may or may not be in Justin's hands right now.
Yeah.
Wally Coyote says, please tell us again, we do not need tune revisions for long tube catted headers installs.
We do not.
Okay. Says, I'm assuming I will need to get a retune if I'm going to a larger cold air kit. I'm trying to see what he's saying. You're using versus my JLT cold air kit, which is down in the fender. Probably better MAF signal now too.
So
the JLT fender cold air, depending on where you have the mass airflow sensor mounted, this setup may be better from a signal standpoint, but I'd say from a power potential standpoint, if you're running the high boost setup with the sensor in the MAF housing that's after two 90-degree bends, from a sensor maxing out standpoint, you're probably going to be at a similar level that this is, if not a little bit less. But from a overall flow that the tube's able to handle standpoint, with how you have to neck up the JLT high boost up to the 5-inch throttle body in like a GT500 setup on a Cobra, I'd say that just from that standpoint alone, this setup probably has a little bit more potential for power. But from a mass airflow sensor signal range, if you had like a BA3000 and that JLT high boost, you'd probably be pretty well covered.
It says yes, high boost setup.
Yeah, high boost setup with a BA3000 we'd be pretty well covered. But from a overall flow standpoint, I think this might outflow it a tiny bit up top.
Jason's asking what state and city we're in. We are in New Smyrna Beach, Florida.
True story.
East coast of Central Florida.
Todd says, do you have a schedule for 2019 on where we'll be with the mobile dyno?
Great question.
He would love to get his car on it. So.
Yeah. So like the guy with the Ranger that's pretty much dyno tune only. Yeah, we're going to have the mobile dyno out in 2019. I know Ponies in the Smokies in Tennessee in late March, Shelby Fest in late April.
I think
Yeah.
I think you
like that.
pretty well told me that you had those dates solidified on when we'll be traveling. So if you get it to us, we can go ahead and we can put it out there.
Yeah.
If you can get me the dates and
a lot of
sharing it.
that stuff's on the already on the calendar
okay.
for the VMP official VMP event schedule. So
Okay, great.
we'll do. I want to do like a formal release like the first week of January when it's fresh on everybody's mind and start making deposits and getting deposits and everything else. Because we're gonna have a banging schedule for next year. It's gonna be pretty busy, but it's gonna be spaced out, so it should work out fine.
And it's worth saying that if you have something that you want to get us to tune at an event, make sure you contact us beforehand to A, get a deposit, and B, make sure the setup is well vetted and that when we get there, we're not gonna be like, hey, we need you to change this, this, and this before we're gonna tune it, because whether it's a part that we don't support or the combination just isn't going to perform like you want it to, we can kind of guide you before you get to that day of wanting to get it dynoed only to get your heart crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah, he also wants to know how does he get his name on the list?
Sales and support.
Yeah.
Get with them on the day or the event that you want to go to, the day that you want to be there, and we'll block off a time block based on how long we estimate how long it's going to take to tune the car.
I'll also look at, we have a new blog that's out there. I'll also look and see if maybe I can put a calendar of events on there, and if so, then I can share that information that way too.
Nice.
Derek says, is it wise to rev an 18 Mustang GT to 8,000 RPM with stock OPG and crank sprockets? 10R80. That's it.
I wouldn't say that it's necessarily unwise to do that, but I don't know that I'd say that it's wise to do it either.
How high did he say?
8,000.
8,000.
I really don't see a problem with it at all, but that's not to say that putting oil pump gears in it wouldn't be a good idea, because I think that it would be a good idea regardless.
So Mark is asking, with the Black Friday deals on head units, can you also use the trade-in program in addition to the 15% off?
Yeah, we'll take your trade-ins. Yep. We will take them trade-ins.
That's a banging deal.
Yeah, it's a killer deal. I'm not going to regret it though come Monday. So it's going to be all good.
This is the lowest price. I've been here for almost a year and a half, almost going on, and this is the lowest price we have offered this sale. So I keep encouraging people to go ahead and buy, but I can tell you for a fact that it is the lowest price that we have offered.
Get while the getting is good.
True story.
Normally it's about 6%, so yeah, take advantage of it. Joey says, I currently have an 18 Ecoboost with a tune from SCT. However, I do have some aftermarket parts. Would you guys be interested in tuning it for my parts?
I guess it would depend on what aftermarket parts specifically you're talking about, and we'd have to do some validation to confirm that what we know for tuning 15 to 17 stuff still translates over to 18.
Anthony is giving sad faces, no converter for the 18.
Someone makes a converter or modifies converters for 18s. I saw a video of one on
Yeah.
Facebook recently.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know if it's an aftermarket converter or just a modded stock one, but he was coming up on a trans brake at like 35 or 3600 RPM in second gear.
Get out on that trans brake more. Because you got to figure an 18 has like a 5-something to 1 first gear. Like you're basically working off all gear ratio in first gear.
It's like clutch dumping a Coyote stock car.
Yeah.
'Cause most of those guys are like 410, 456 anyways.
Pretty much.
So there's comments, obviously, someone making a comment that Cletus blew up neighbor.
Yeah.
1,068 wheel on a stock GT500 engine.
Every time I saw the tack on that car go past 6,700, I was like, cringe, 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 cringe.
Yeah, they're saying, and he says neighbor needs a new 5.4 liter bottom end.
Somebody needs to hook him up with a Navi setup. Just a Navi short block. Someone can take the heads off it, and then he has his whole little short block thing.
Slabshack says, I want the FIC 1000s. Can they alone allow me to run E85 on a 14 Shelby 2.4 upper ported blower, full exhaust, trying to get in the 10s?
They alone cannot allow you to run that. You would minimum need a set of boosters on that setup as well.
Dual boosters with a
Did
stock
he say
lower.
a 2.4 and a 10%?
I think, or Slabshack, are you just on a upper only setup?
If you're just on an upper only setup, they'll get you by.
Yeah, with a set of dual boosters, because the 13, 14 GT500 pumps are pretty decent. I mean, they're the biggest pumps Ford's ever offered, put it that way.
Yeah.
Tony wants to know, can you modify... I was waiting to see. Tony wants to know, can you modify the traction control on an 11 to 14 Mustangs from an autocross aspect?
I wonder what way he's talking about. Can we recalibrate the ABS module? Or can we change the amount of air mass limiting traction control has?
Yeah, that's kind of.
Because those are two different things.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit going on there, because the ECU at some point, or traction control, or ABS module does a lot of black magic with torque requests and brakes and stuff.
Doesn't Red Key have a special programming on ABS module on Boss?
I don't know, maybe.
I thought that it did something different with the advanced track and all that stuff.
Now on the Boss 302, there is a sport mode which will allow more wheel spin and allow
More rotation?
Yes, more rotation, more push in the front end. Like if I took my Boss 302 out on track and didn't click it into sport mode before I left, it was no fun. You ride it, you go through a corner fast, and it kind of ABSs on you because it feels the front end sliding and stuff. So.
Slabshack came back and said upper only.
Upper only, yeah. Let her rip. Get some injectors and some boosters from us, and I'll do a tune for you and let her go.
Northwest Horsepower came back. He's saying okay to your answers to his questions earlier. Says you're awesome. Thanks for the info. Love these Tuning Tuesday shows.
Awesome.
You're welcome.
Chris says, hey guys, what are the limits of RPM and torque for the 19 Mustang GT clutch?
Oh gosh.
I don't know.
If you're on a slippery tire, there's probably no limit. But if you're on a sticky tire, you'll find the limit. That's really the amount of traction available is going to determine the amount of stress on the clutch.
Yeah.
What is the fuse?
Something's got to give.
Yeah.
Johnny wants to know, are there any gains or advantages to be had with a monoblade throttle body over a twin 67 throttle body with a Gen2R running 10 to 14 pounds?
I'd say in the 10 to 14 pounds range, the benefit of a monoblade over a twin 67 is very small. If you're closer to that, we'll call it 14 to 17 pound range, the gain becomes more significant.
Yeah, the need for air, proportional to how much boost you're running and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Todd says, just bought some parts from VMP, like the 67 millimeter throttle body, BPS elbow, and triple pass heat exchanger. How fast are parts shipping out as part of the Black Friday sale? I can't wait to get these amazing parts.
We are working every day this week except for Thanksgiving, and to get stuff out the door, because it's we might as well not kill the FedEx guy or the UPS guy all in one day. Spread it out over a couple days.
Peter says, I have a 13 GT that I just nuked the clutch on.
Sad.
Has had problems with my MT82. What are the benefits of the Ben Calamer built MT82? Is it worth replacing it since I'm going to have to swap it out anyways?
Depends on what your end power goal is. I'd say if your end power goal we'll call it within the span of this year, is 1,000 horsepower, I think a TR6060 or the Calamer Stage 3 is a good bet. But if you're just naturally aspirated or looking to stay 700 or under, I'd say the Calamer Stage 2 is a good buy. And then just try and pair it with a clutch that isn't too aggressive on the engagement.
Yeah, and the Calamer trans that we sell is a Stage 1 that is kind of like a blueprinted and balanced stock transmission that, just has been made sure that it works really good, but it's still stock gear set, so it doesn't have any more holding power technically. That's the thing to keep in mind, is that until you go to the Stage 3 with the upgraded gear set and stuff, you're still working with factory gears.
Zachary has a 14 Mustang V6 with BBK throttle body, long tube headers, K&N air intake with Borla axle back exhaust. He's looking to put in a Procharger, but on the fence if twin turbos would be better. Any help as to which one to choose and what else I can add after the turbo/Procharger?
Coyote swap it.
Yeah.
And the V8s are so much better than the V6s these days that it just... A turbos or blower will get you to where a stock Coyote is.
At least the stock engine.
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Derek wants to know, are high nines possible in good DA with 750 to the wheel?
Oh,
Car
yeah.
is an 18 Mustang 10R80 base model with 315s. Car has stage 2 Whipple, no cats, and long tubes because VMP Supercharger is not out yet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We've seen it done. Right?
story.
Yeah.
Janssen 50 says, any tuning done on the 18 F-150 manifolds, maybe ported would also be a good bolt-on for 11 up F-150 Coyote engines.
I'd say if you want us to test an intake manifold, send us a message about which intake manifolds you want tested, and we'll go by the old-fashioned tick counter of whichever manifolds get the most little ticks on the counter are the ones that we test next.
That's a good idea, Joe. Yeah.
Jay wants to put a Cobra Jet on a 17 F-150 and run the VMP twin 67 throttle body with a PMAS. Do we have a package for that? If not, is there a specific PMAS that is needed to fit the 67 throttle body?
You would need a CJ-specific PMAS. And being that it's a truck, you could probably get away with just using a Mustang 11 to 14 PMAS for a CJ manifold. We don't have a package specifically dedicated to that, though. We
Yeah,
have to
we-
a la carte that.
Yeah, we could sell you all the parts. And you may want to use our analog new Twin 69 throttle body, because that's really kind of a better option for 15 to 17, not only Mustang, but F-150.
And for those that look for bigger numbers, it's larger than a 67.
Yeah, still have the drivability of a single blade, or a twin blade compared to a monoblade too, so.
Mad Max says, when I order my Gen 3, do I qualify for the 750 back when I ship my Roush blower back to you?
Yeah, bring it.
Is the Roush blower 750 back as well?
Yeah, it's a Gen, calling that a Gen 1, 750
Like
back.
the 15, 17 Roush blower and the 11 to 14?
Yep,
Does that include truck?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, anything with a removable elbow, we consider a Gen 1, and we do 750 for.
So just to reiterate or to confirm, basically, if you're upgrading your head unit to a Gen 3 through VMP, you have to buy it through us, during the Black Friday sale, then you are eligible also for our trade-in. Of course, you have to buy your upgrade, then ship us back your blower. We will inspect it, make sure it's in good working condition, and if it is, then we will refund you the cost that we have agreed upon.
Yeah, the costs in our trade-in program, as long as it's working, inspected, undamaged, and clean. Do not ship us a blower packed
that has a quart of oil in it.
yeah, or peanuts. It has a quart of oil in it, and you put packing peanuts in the package. Oh, dirty blowers.
So yeah, so
Giggity.
you do qualify again for the discount through Black Friday and then the trade-in program that we have going on. I know several people have asked that. So Joey says, I currently have an SCT tune for my 18 Ecoboost, looking more of a custom tune. Can you do it?
18 Ecoboost. Is that the same guy that was asking about 18 Ecoboost earlier?
I think so,
Okay.
Okay.
possibly. Coyote Kelly says, what's up guys? My good friend just went 9.6 last weekend with his 15 GT with a Gen 3. Cool thing is his wife ran it down the track.
Awesome. Awesome. Gen 3 for the win.
That's kind of
Awesome.
cool, actually.
Yeah.
If you would send that information to us, maybe with a picture and a little information on where they ran and whatnot, maybe it's something that we can share. We like that sort of information. Alberto says, what is the cost for a complete Gen 3 supercharger kit for a 17 Mustang?
So, $89.99, and then 10% off brings it down to like $81 or $8,200. It's an awesome deal because, so we have 3 stages of kits, supercharger kits for the Coyote, and they are staged out kind of from a how fast do you want to go, how much money do you want to spend perspective. So stage 3 kit brings all the goodies, the big injectors, the big heat exchanger, the bigger batter blower, and yeah, so that's that price. You're not just getting like a badass blower, you're getting badass injectors, everything.
Scott says, are we going to have the new 69mm throttle body on sale?
I don't remember if that's included in the sale or not. Do you, Joe?
I don't.
Yeah, so that is one I don't have an answer, unfortunately. Give us a call or send us a message.
Reach out to sales.
I don't recall seeing it, but I can't answer definitively. I don't have it right in front of me.
We are 3 unsures. Yeah, sure, or yes, sir.
So Jay says, happy Thanksgiving to the VMP crew. Took
Thank
advantage
you.
of the pre-Black Friday sale and sent ya all my spare cash waiting for delivery of my blower.
Awesome.
Cool.
Todd, we got you. Annette says, have your 91, 93, 89 tune on my 12 stock GT. Thinking about getting your PMAS tune, only intake. What would the horsepower real wheel be, and how would it compare to the 18 intake as far as power would be?
So, is he talking just a PMAS cold air versus an 18 intake manifold?
It sounds like it.
I'd say that the two would be best paired together, a PMAS cold air and an 18 intake manifold, as opposed to doing either or. I'd say just doing a PMAS cold air, probably 8 to 10 horsepower. Doing a 18 intake manifold, your peak power is going to be higher, but only if you pair it with a cold air intake. If you have a stock cold air and you're trying to spin it 8,000 RPM or 7,900 on an 18 intake manifold, that stock cold air is going to start to become a restriction on a setup like that, and that's a case where doing a JLT or a PMAS and the 18 manifold would be a good mashup.
Jason says, what are the main weak points on a 2.9 Whipple supercharger 18 Ford F-150 besides oil pump gears?
On the engine, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'd say that if you do oil pump gears, everything else should be pretty good on E85 or a high octane race fuel. Up until about that 800, 850 level, and even then, probably even a little bit lower. I'd think about doing rods and pistons in it. As long as you have long tubes and all the other basic bolt-ons, that's about all you can do on that side of things.
Lou is asking whether or not we'll have BurnOut Box on Friday. No, we will not have BurnOut Box this week, so tune in next Thursday for BurnOut Box. Were you going to say something?
No, that's how it's going. We're just skipping burnout box since it falls on Turkey Day.
Derek wants to know whether or not we will take Whipple trade-ins when the VMP 2018 models come out.
Oh gosh.
Probably not.
Yeah. I don't think you'd like what we'd give you for a competitor's product, so we just shouldn't go down that road.
Yeah. Austin, is it possible to swap a 5.2 Voodoo block into a 5.0 Coyote?
Absolutely.
Can a 17 Mustang GT take a 100 shot of nitrous plate kit?
Absolutely. Sorry, Joe.
That's okay.
I'm
Do
answering
what you
rapid
gotta
fire.
do, man. I see
You
what
want to
time
hit
it
a
is.
couple more questions, Carrie?
A couple more. 17 GT Auto want a combo to get to 140 plus mile per hour quarter. What do you recommend?
VMP Gen3, fuel system, E85, and a good tire. You could probably get there on stock suspension with a good tire in an auto car, but it'd be a good idea to pair it with some, whether it be BMR or UPR suspension components in the rear IRS.
Are you able to tune a Focus or Fiesta?
Haven't tried.
Yeah.
I'd imagine I wouldn't really have any trouble with doing so. It'd just be something that I'd like to do on the dyno or in person first.
Yeah, or we can get you an SCT tuner with a preload, and we do have intercooler upgrades for those.
On a Gen 3 blower, would you recommend a 123 millimeter or 148 millimeter JLT or PMAS with a 69 millimeter pulley?
You're going to be fine with a 123 or a 120.
Is he saying on Gen 3 with
Oh,
a
did he say-
69?
With a Gen 3.
With a
Gen
Gen 3, you're probably going to want a 148.
Okay,
on an
yeah.
11 to 14 or 15 to 17 car. Whether that be JLT 148 or PMAS 149, either way, you're going to want that 140 plus millimeter cold air setup.
Yeah, I thought he said Gen 2.
It's all good.
Is a Mantic clutch better than McLeod?
We're doing all the competitor things right now. We got the Whipple
Yeah.
versus VMP,
It's
JLT
all-
versus PMAS, Mantic versus McLeod. I'd say they both make a great product. I'm not aware of a clutch for a modern Ford Mustang that McLeod makes that's good for over 1,300 horsepower. I know that the RXT HD is supposed to be good right up till that level, but I think the Mantic offers a clutch that goes a little bit further. You could get a triple disc setup, but like I said before, they both make great clutches. And a lot of our higher horsepower cars like Grant, Ryan McGauley,
Mantic triples, yeah.
Mantic triple discs in those cars, and they drive very well.
So I have 3 more questions and we're going to call it a day.
Cool.
Okay.
First one is an easy one. Is there a trade-in for 03 Cobra Gen2 to Gen3?
Sell that puppy on the open market. I'm sure you can get better money for it.
I hear a car on someone else's tune out there. I think I know which car that is.
Oh, that's funny.
What are the differences between an 11 to 14 and 15 to 17 up F-150 intake manifold?
CMCVs?
Yeah, CMCVs being the primary difference between the two. I'd say that the overall manifold design's different, but not enough to really change a whole lot.
Yeah, we don't seem to see there's a big difference there.
No.
Ken Ingram says, Justin, just how much more power did your truck make from the Gen 2 to the Gen 3?
So, it's a good question. I think we're going to give you two answers. My truck was pretty strung out on the Gen 2, so I picked up like 50 horse.
Mm-hmm.
And I was running like some of the smallest pulleys I could run.
On the Gen 2.
Yeah.
So.
Joe, you were running a pretty mild setup, so you picked up like over 100 horse.
Yeah, I picked up like 100 or 110 horsepower going from Gen 2 on 79 versus a Gen 3 on 79. And then the only other variable there being long tubes and race gas. But timing between the two, similar, about three degrees off between the two.
Okay, last question. So Derek, who had asked earlier whether or not high nines are possible in good DA with 750 to the wheel on his 18 10R80. He says the car is stuck at 10.5 in good DA with 750 wheel, stock suspension, but car is hooking with 1.6 on the 60 foot. Lund tuned, data logs look good. AFR and timing still look good. Shifts at 7,400. Any ideas on how to get to the nines? Again, it's an 18 10R80 with 315s.
I'd say reach out to John and see if he's willing to bump up your shift points. I don't know that there's much to be gained on that setup at 7,400 versus like 7,700, but I have a local buddy that's on he's on E85 on a, I'm trying to think of what pulley's on that. I want to say it's a 3725. Tuned by John, and his car went right at a 990 recently.
And he's actually at about 800 wheel.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, 750 on paper is enough to go high nines, but I guess the weight of the new cars and some of the other factors,
Maybe see if you can do like a 93 with boosting or something if you don't quite have the funds to go E85 or the availability to do E85.
Yeah, I'd say that would help out. Because, and I'll be honest, those 18 setups, they make a lot of horsepower because of the engine and the compression and everything, but they don't make a lot of torque. So you don't have that factor to get you moving.
Don't go throwing stuff.
I guess it's 2:30.
Yep, with that said, we're going to call it a day.
Thanks for watching, everybody. We will see you next week.
Yeah. If you have any requests on things you want us to bring on the table so that you guys can look at on live feed, let us know.
We'll get these cold airs, the 5-inch versions, on the website here shortly too.
And also, we will be coming up to the new year. If there are any guests that people would like to see on the show, we've done that as well. So if there's any guests or any products or things that you would like more information on, suspension, otherwise, let us know and we'll see what we can do.
Sounds good.
Keep an eye out on the YouTube channel for all the upcoming videos on Mod National.
Lots of videos on our YouTube
Texas.
channels.
And we will have more truck videos coming up soon too.
Skateboarding.
And if any of you guys know where 5.4 short block is, or bare block with a crank or whatever, reach out to Garrett, Cletus, whatever you want to call him, and try and get him hooked up with that block so we can get back out there doing race car stuff. But other than that, talk
Bye,
to you later,
everybody.
guys.